Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be ranking the top 10 best centers in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM, not including gambling. So this is a list of the best, including gambling cards. So this is a list that is insanely stacked with some of the very best cards in all of MyTEAM. The center position is very glitchy, and there's a lot of giants who do a lot of glitchy stuff on this list. Did not include GOAT cards or invincibles just because of how rare they are, but as a whole, I think this is a pretty good, pretty fair list here in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM. So would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 30,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, tons of consistent daily MyTEAM content. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it and let's discuss. So number 10 is going to be Manute Bol. Manute's only real flaw is just that he's like kind of on the slower side, I guess. Doesn't have much in terms of shot creation. Sigs wise, I mean, he doesn't have the best sigs in the world, I wouldn't say. His release is really nice. He's absolutely gigantic. He dunks the ball incredibly well. He's a versatile defender, and if you add badges to him, he's not unbelievably incomplete or anything along those lines as well. Like, as a whole, he's a very solid, very well-rounded card who I think is an elite level option in MyTEAM. I mean, I really do think he's a super solid card. He's the second best non-gambling center in the game. Really good card. It's just when you're on a list with a bunch of 100 overalls who are also giants, it's kind of tough to put him any higher than this. Like, for example, number 9, 100 overall Wemby. That's an insane card to have at number 9, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because, like, this card, he may not have unbelievable sigs, but he's got semi-okay sigs. Kemba Escape, Pro 2 Fade. His own release is not that good, I will say, but I guess off handles for days is super nice. I don't know. There's a part of me that says this is a couple spots too low for Wemby, but then there's this part of me that says a couple of the guys that I have above him, I think the release could be a little bit better on Wemby. I think the sigs aren't bad, but I think they could also be a little better. And as good as he is, like at number 8, a guy like Shawn Bradley. Is Shawn Bradley actually worse than Wemby? I don't really think so at the center position specifically, because number 1, bigger player build at 7'6" versus 7'4", for sure. Noticeably bigger player build, which is helpful. Now, yes, he's slower. Yes, his 3-ball rating isn't nearly as high. Add shooting badges. He has a better release than Wemby does. He does 100%. Now, the playmaking is not, in terms of, again, in badges, they're not the same, but his sigs are better. So that's interesting as well. Better release, better sigs, but worse stats and badges. And that leaves a dilemma, you know what I mean? I think that's always a big question mark, is they better animations in some ways, but not as good overall. It becomes a little bit tough, I think, to rank these types of cards. And to me, it's like, I don't know, you could easily switch these two back, but I like Shawn Bradley's release so much, and I think if fully badged and with a shoe and all that type of stuff, he is actually better in my personal opinion. Now, same thing with like a guy like Big Z, for example. Zydrunas, I just typed in big, like that was gonna pull up his name, but Zydrunas Ilgauskas is, again, 7'3", elite release, Jamal Murray behind the back, like really good offensive and defensive card. Speed wise, much better than Shawn Bradley actually. Now, overall completeness in his badge is also definitely better. Sigs wise, I mean, Kemba Escape, Jamal Murray behind the back, definitely an improvement as well. I'm realizing though one thing, I think the 20 speed difference between Wemby and Shawn Bradley is too much to overcome, so I'm actually going to put them slightly lower. I think they're the two best viable centers in the game, but still, I'm actually going to swap that out just because I'm realizing it might be a little ridiculous to put a guy who's 79 speed over a guy who's 99 speed, even if he's a couple inches taller with a smoother release and slightly better sigs. So I don't know. It is a little bit tough, I think, but I think I'd go Big Z number 7, Wemby 8, Bradley 9, and Manute 10. Again, all these guys are really good, and they're pretty close together, so it can definitely be tough to rank. Like, for example, number 6, Donovan Clingan. Is Donovan Clingan noticeably better than Wemby, Big Z, even Shawn Bradley, and Manute? Not really. He's also 7'3", 7'7" wingspan. Awesome release. That's probably the biggest thing about this card, is how good his release is. And I think that's the one thing that I would say, if anything is differentiating these cards or really helping to elevate them, this would be the thing. It's release for a guy like Donovan Clingan. Main PJ base is just one of the very best bases in the game. And I think if anything is going to elevate this card, that is the main thing that does kind of elevate him to that different level, at least to a certain extent. So really good card in his own right, in my opinion, and would definitely probably put Clingan I don't know. It feels right putting him here at number 6 because of how good his release is, how solid his SIGs are, and again how much size he has. Number 5, center position, Kristaps. I do have KP a few spots higher at center than I did at power forward. I don't know. I feel like his release or his height plays a little more value at the center position at 7'3", 7'6" wingspan. I know it's not noticeably different than these other guys, and actually he's tied for the shortest player here technically. But at power forward, I just think there's a lot more 6'11" guys who have the best releases in the games, who are some of the very best cards in the game. KP's exceptional, only gold handles for days, but it doesn't matter that much because his release itself is very solid. He does everything that you kind of need a card to do, I feel like, at a very high level. Versatile shot creator, versatile. And I mean, the shot creation is good. Honestly, it is. Kemba escape, Jamal Murray behind the back, Steph's drag back, but that's not the best value of the card. He's a straight popper. He's a versatile defender. He's going to do everything well. You know what I mean? Really, really good all around option at the center position. And I think I like his release more better than Wemby's. Wemby's what, an inch taller than him, but I think Wemby's release and SIGs aren't as good as KP's. He's faster than Big Z, same height. Donovan, Clingan, slightly better statistically, although they're very close. If you want to switch them, I would not disagree with you at all. But I think this is probably a pretty fair listing so far. Number 4, I know his release isn't great, but it's 100 overall, 7'6" player. Yao Ming is number 4 on this list. The jumper could be a little improved upon for sure, but again, 7'6", 7'9" wingspan with 99 speed. You just can't place a ton of value on that, or you just can't not place a ton of value on that. It's one of the more valuable things, I think, in the entire game, to be completely honest. He is an exceptionally good, exceptionally complete card with very, very few flaws, and his one flaw being that his release and his SIGs could be a little bit better is not a big enough flaw in my mind to put him anywhere lower than a number 4 because of how big and versatile and fast he really is at 7'6". Number 3 is going to be Arvydas Sabonis. Yes, he's only 7'3". His player build is massive for 7'3". His jumper is also truly top tier, and SIGs wise, besides the inability to trigger behind the back, are also exceptional, but truly a late top tier release at his size with a massive player build as well. I feel like he is the better version of a Big Z, the better version of a Donovan Clingan, in my opinion, with perfect SIGs pretty much, besides obviously the inability to do behind the back, but he wouldn't be able to do it behind the back anyway because he's too heavy. So I feel like this is probably the fairest slot for him right now, and I really like the card a lot. I truly do. I think 7'3", 7'6" wingspan is enough size to be top 3 with how good his jump shot is. And again, it's very close together, but that feels like the right choice at 3. Number 2, Zach Edey. Zach Edey is the second best center in the game. This, I don't think, is all that debatable. 7'5", 7'10" wingspan. Yes, the stats and batters are not 100 overall level, but the release is the best of the best. Gordon Hayward, Laurie Roper on very quick, and again, top tier SIGs, besides, again, being too heavy to trigger behind the back. So, yes, he's a little slower. Yes, he's in need of some badges. With those badges and stats added, he is one of the biggest cards in this list with the best release of all the super duper giants. I mean, of all of them. And then amazing SIGs as well. I mean, I think Zach Edey is, I feel like this part wasn't really challenging. There are a lot of parts of this list that were challenging to rank, but Zach Edey at number 2 feels right. And then number 1 is also just a no-brainer. Tacko Fall. There's nobody else in the game who's 100 overall with perfect stats, perfect badges. His level of size, 8'2" wingspan as well, and then one of the better releases of all the big men in the game. Tacko is the best big in my team right now, for sure. He's an absolutely dominant force. Again, has pretty much the perfect SIGs, just has everything you could possibly ask for, and then one of the best releases in the game at 7'5" with 99 speed. He's just as good as it gets. And again, I think everybody in this top 10 is usable at a competitive level 100%. I just think this is the fairest that I could possibly rank these cards. So I'm going with Tacko at 1, Edey at 2, and so on and so forth. So hope y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back on more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.